You're listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. In this installment, things get broken. All kinds of things get broken. And because Marcy already has a few physical things broken, you're going to experience a brief pause in new podcasts while she has some surgery to get herself put back together. However, lucky you, my audiobook has just come out. So if you're feeling lonesome for some great audio content, please check out She Said What? A Life on the Air, which is available from Audible now. Oh, and here's your podcast. There are two kinds of people in this world. There are two kinds and only two kinds. There are the kind of people who want the latest new device and the kind of people who say, what? The wheel? That will ruin my life, a wheel. Things will go too fast and smash into each other if I have to get wheels. So.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm definitely number two. If I could, I'd still be using Windows XP. Stupid Windows 11, which I still don't know how to use, by the way.
If I could, I'd be using a carrier pigeon. I had to buy this new phone. I bought the new phone. I called and they said, oh, we don't need to send you one of those new SIM cards. We can do it all electronically. So, of course, right now, I have a new phone that doesn't work and an old phone that doesn't work. And they're each of them sending me alarming little dings that tell me that someone is trying to alert me to something. But
you're cut off from society.
If the spousal unit leaves this house, there will be no working phone here at all.
I guess you better nail the doors shut.
Yeah.
I don't know how you keep him in.
Glue him to his desk. I'm not sure what to do. I guess I still have working internet. Carrier pigeons. Those sound like really great ideas.
Do you have a phone store
pigeons
near your house?
I'm afraid of them too. I know what they'll do. They'll look at me and they go, you cheapskate. You bought the prior model. You bought it secondhand. But I mean, who ever heard of a phone where you go through the whole thing for 45 minutes with the phone company and at the end oh no, not the freaking dog again.
No, this is outside. I have no control over outside.
I don't know what to do.
And it's not my dog. We have a woman from California who comes to her cottage or her cabin or whatever she wants to call it, for one day, month.
What is she making meth in there? She just needs to make a new batch of meth and bring it back to California.
It's a really nice little cabin, but she just comes and then she's here for a day and then she's gone.
Meth lab.
But when she's here, she lets her dogs run wild, which I don't understand. And the third neighbor on the street, I mean, there's only that's it, three of us. He's actually trapped these dogs before. Trying to give her a direct hint, keep your dogs over on your property, build a fence. But those were her dogs on the other side of my fence barking at my dogs. But it should be quiet now because I chased them away.
I think I
Back
might.
to your phone troubles.
Oh, my phone troubles. So here's my favorite. Why I accepted this line of horse wash, I don't know. But the nice person in the Philippines said, and if I lose you, I'll call you back on this number. And I completely didn't calculate in the fact that there may be no working number at all by the time he gets through with me.
Do you have the same phone number on your new phone as your old phone?
That is the idea, yes. But
I don't know. I don't understand any of it.
Yeah. Well, it sent me a little note saying, congratulations, we've transferred everything to your new phone. And so then I went to pick up my new phone to see if I could make a phone call. And it said, you have no phone service on your new phone. So I'm stuck.
Oh, my dear friend, I'm still trying to learn how to use this computer. Pretty much all I know how to do on it so far is to click yes on your Zoom invitations.
Maybe we should just call this the Incompetence Podcast.
I don't know, but let me tell you about my clown show of a day.
Okay.
It's been awful, and I know you're just going to laugh at me. I know it. I predict it. $1 million will fall out of the sky if you don't. So first thing that happens this morning, I feed the dogs. And The two that fight got in a fight, of course, but they've never gotten in a fight during feeding time. Belly, the little bulldog, jumped great big giant minion, and he's beating her up, and she thinks she's winning. And they're right over where I keep Eve's ginger ale because we have a pregnant child who's throwing up a lot, lives behind us, but for some reason, all her ginger ale is at my house. And I have no idea how this happened, but all of a sudden cans went flying. And one of the cans broke in half, and there's ginger ale spraying all over my kitchen and my living room. And I'm screaming at the dogs, trying to break them up. And so, yeah, that was 7 o'clock this morning.
Oh,
So I had to wash the floor.
oh,
Then I go over to Eve's house, the child's house, to get her medicine because she's sleeping over here
on the
because
Barcalounger because of her leg in a
yes,
cast. Yeah.
yes. So she's sleeping over here. So I go to her house and there's a big black cat in her yard. And I'm like, what the heck? And I go in her house and her black cat is in the house. No idea where this cat came from. It turns out
Yes.
two of the cats that live in the workshop, the 2,000 square foot workshop,
Yeah.
have figured out how to climb the fence and get out of there.
Okay.
And one of them is completely blind. I don't even know how he knows that there's a fence there. We've had cats in this workshop for 4 years and they've never escaped. And all of a sudden, Blind Retro, who's this big yellow fuzzy cat, figured out he can climb up and get between the gate that Frankie made and the garage door and go out and run around. I had this scathingly brilliant idea to take Frankie's sawhorses that are sitting out in front of the workshop and push them against the fence. So I pick up the sawhorse and immediately get a splinter like the entire length of my finger. And I'm bleeding all over, trying to contain cats, and I've got ginger ale everywhere. So yeah, that's been my day so far. Yeah, it's just been crazy here. I'm ready to go to bed.
I have another strange customer service question that they are starting to now ask.
Are you talking to Steve from India?
No, the
I need to
Philippines.
know.
This is Steve in the Philippines. They were trained to ask how my day was going, and I explained that if my day were going all that well, I wouldn't need to be talking to them. And now today he asked, well, how's the weather where you are? I'm like, oh, fine. I said, I'm in Chicago, so worse than where you are. And then he says, well, do you drink beer? Like, what?
Is he telling you to drink?
What? I'm thinking,
We can't fix her phone, so I have a drink.
yes. Now that I think about it, they ought to make sure that you've had a beer before you call customer service in the Philippines.
How'd you find out he was in the
I
Philippines?
asked him, I said, where's the weather there where you are? I'll tell you if it's better or worse. He said, I'm in the Philippines. I said, well, then it's worse.
Yeah. I can't believe he told you he was in the Philippines.
I have ways of making people look. If I'd
How are
wanted
you
to,
speaking to him, by the way,
I,
without a phone?
this was before we turned off the other phone,
Oh,
before they automatically canceled each other out.
great.
But I have ways I can get customer service people in India to tell me just about anything. It's amazing. I can find out,
You
that
can start your own like podcast, Jerry Springer show.
things I've found out. The last time I had a long experience with a phone call, also to the Philippines, also to my phone company, I found out that he was working from home with his extended family and his mother and grandmother and cats. And I found out,
25 people in a room.
yeah, pretty much 75 people in the room with one person working to support them all. He let me know. So I should never complain because he's the sole support of an extended family and some cats in the Philippines.
And I bet that didn't make you feel bad at all, did it?
I try to be nice to everyone. I figure if your
Yeah.
job is
I'm sending
talking,
you a T-shirt that says that.
I figure if your job is talking to people like me for a living, you already have it pretty bad.
No offense, of course.
No, of
but,
course, no offense. If this is your gig, if this is your lot in life, that you have to listen to me, I mean me, changing phones from one phone to another. And he's asking for this number that is nowhere in my phone. And I said, well, there's a number on the box, but I don't know if it's the number that matches my phone. This is written in a size of type that I literally had to get have you ever seen those magnifying glasses where there's the main magnifying glass and the little tiny magnifying glass
Yeah.
inside it?
Yeah.
I had to use the tiny magnifying glass inside the main magnifying glass to find this number, and it had literally 9 tiny zeros lined up. And I had to
See,
count
I'm one
them
of those
all.
people, I will not make any of those phone calls unless I'm like really, really, really hot. If I'm really angry, that's when I call. I could half this house could be on fire, and I wouldn't call the fire department. I would just be like, yeah, I'll call them in an hour. See
Well,
if
I
the
will tell you
fire goes
why
out.
had to call this phone company. I had to call this phone company because the old phone is giving me what I call the fair warning failure notice. It's the equivalent of the check engine light on my phone. The screen has been going to black with a little green line on the top. And if I hit it, I can get the screen back again. But that'll only work for so long. The front is cracked, the back is cracked, and it's giving me the little green line at the top saying soon it will not even give me that, and if you hit me enough I'll just quit working altogether and you can hit me all you like. So I had
Is
no
it is it
choice.
is there a piece of fruit on the cover of this phone?
A piece of fruit?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
no, there is a big
no.
G on the cover of the new phone.
Okay.
On the new phone. Yeah, no, I don't buy those fancy fruit phones.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to give them free advertising.
Too rich for my blood, the fruit of the loom phones. No, that's way out of my price range. Instead, I get last year's model. This is a sneaky thing. The New York Times tech review site has decided that if you're a cheapskate and you want to buy last year's model of something, they're not going to help you. Like if you look up
What?
what was last year's recommended mobile phone of the year, it won't tell you. It'll just tell you this year's. Just for spite, just because it's like sending me a little note that says, "You cheap bastard, you want last year's phone so you can save $300? We're not even going to tell you what it was."
That's why I don't look it up on that site. I go to like the PC, whatever, all the computer magazines, because I always buy at least 2-year-old appliances that have been certified and
Refurbished. Yeah.
this
Well,
is my refurbished computer, um, my refurbished life.
yeah, I'd like a
But
button
yes, my
for
phone
that.
has been refurbished.
I'd like the code for that, please. I'd like to refurbish my life right now. And I
It's a little
swear,
late.
this is how well it is not working. I'm talking to Steve in the Philippines, and the phone is literally starting to heat up in my hand. And I said, I don't think you
Oh
have a whole
yeah.
lot of time because the phone is going to explode. It's going to melt in my, it's going to be like M&Ms. It's going to melt in my mouth and in my hand.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Remember
not
when
going well.
laptops used to get really hot?
What do you mean, remember?
Why, does yours still get hot? Mine
Well, I
doesn't.
don't know. I don't use a laptop much anymore, but I will tell you that my girlfriend, who normally is not oblivious, sat down at my dining room table, my vintage Chinese lacquered dining room table, with her phone. And I normally have a table pad on there because I don't want people, but I wanted it to look nice for her because she was company. So she
Yeah.
sets her laptop down there, and I come down for coffee, and I look at her and I say, "Does that thing get hot?" And sure enough, right through the
Oh no.
yeah, that's
I
all
thought
right.
they don't do that anymore.
That's all
But
right.
then I don't hold them in my lap or
That's all right.
it's just sitting on my desk,
Here's
basically.
here's the thing I've noticed. I feel less bad if someone wrecks my stuff if I've already wrecked something of theirs. My friend melted the top of my dining table, but I didn't feel as bad because I'd already broken the top off her sugar bowl 4 years earlier.
There you go. So you're even. It
Yeah,
just
it's kind of
takes
how
a
I
while.
felt. Yeah, it just took a while, and now the tally is 1-1. Yeah, yeah. She's coming back. I don't know what she'll break this time, but it's going to be. I will have to break something back just to make sure we're square.
Put a tablecloth on your table.
I'm going to start with that. Yes, yes.
You've been listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast. And you probably know about my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. Now there's an audiobook, so you can have me with you on long drives or short commutes. And you can download it from Amazon. It also makes a lovely gift.